Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist, and I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It is in approximately 1 in 5 women, and it makes you want to break up with your partner approximately 1 to 2 weeks before your period every single month. So as someone who has suffered with PMDD for over 18 years, I dedicated my doctorate practice to helping partners navigate those monthly PMDD breakups with everything from attachment styles, triggers, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to touch, all of the things that you really struggle with when you're in PMDD. And I also dedicated my dissertation to a phenomenological study of the relationship experiences of partners of individuals who suffer with premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So I'm not just here to help the sufferer, the one who is suffering with PMDD. I am here for the partners as well. So if you need those private sessions, make sure you go to inlovewithpmdd.com and get those tools. So let's get into this week's PMDD trauma transformational tools that is going to help you stop the monthly breakups and stop the suffering and stress in your PMDD relationship. Let's get into it. Today, we are going to talk about a secure PMDD partner. So this should be the goal for your PMDD relationship. But for me, and I know a lot of PMDD partners from working with you over the years, you tend to have a secure attachment style when you go into your follicular days and your good days, because it comes naturally to you to securely attach to your PMDD partner. You're not avoidant, meaning you're not trying to avoid intimacy, but you're not overly clingy and needy to where you're overpowering the relationship with consistently wanting more from your partner and it never being enough. So the secure attachment style when you have PMDD is that sweet spot in between. I know for me, oh my goodness, when I go into my secure stage in my PMDD relationship, it automatically shifts my partner out of the anxious attachment style into his secure attachment style. What I want you to understand with this, and this is so powerful, and this is something that I share with my private PMDD partner clients, is that as the individual with PMDD, you have the ability to shift your partner's attachment style as you shift. Meaning your PMDD partner doesn't have to consciously do anything differently to get into that secure attachment style. As soon as they feel and see and observe that you have shifted into a secure attachment style, they automatically shift into a secure attachment style. It may take them a while because there's some fear there, right? So if you've been avoidant or if you've been anxious, it may take them a moment to realize, wait a minute, they're not like that anymore. I can go back to being secure. But our natural state is normally a secure attachment state if we're removing all of the trauma that is involved with PMDD. So what this looks like is if your partner was anxious, if your partner was avoidant because they were in PMDD, like I'm avoidant when I'm in PMDD, when I come out of it, I'm back to my JBL method. I'm just being loving. I'm not being loving for the sense of getting anything from my PMDD partner. It is my natural desire to be loving to my partner. I automatically see the value in them. And I feel like so many times when I get into my avoidance state, I don't see the value of my PMDD partner. I look at them like a burden, but in my secure attachment state, I see them as a blessing. I see them as a prize. I see them as something that I've been gifted with. I'm grateful for the things. I am grateful for the same things that annoyed me when I was in PMDD. Like, I want you to realize that. The fact that my partner is very communicative, he's always checking in on me, he's always worried about me, he's always asking me about my day. Those are the things when I get into my secure attachment style, I value. I'm like, wow, I have someone that really cares about me, that is asking me about my day, that really wants to know about me, that is trying to see if there's anything that they can do to help me to make my day better. But when I get into that avoidant attachment style, I think that's annoying. So what I want you to know is your PMDD partner is not doing anything differently on a monthly basis. I'm pretty sure. They're doing the same things, you're just viewing them differently. That's literally what happens for me and a lot of my private clients is your perception of your PMDD partner's actions is what changed. It's not necessarily that your PMDD partner is doing anything different. So granted, my PMDD partner enjoys when I get like really grateful and I'm like, wow, thank you for doing this, this, and this, and this. When I know in the back of his mind, he's pretty much thinking I always do that. Like you never normally appreciate that, but like, okay. But he takes it. He takes it. He takes the compliments. He takes the admiration because it's genuinely what he wants. And when he feels like I'm not judging him, when he feels like I'm accepting him, when he feels like I'm appreciating him, he knows that I'm back in that secure attachment style. So that releases all of the fear that he was feeling about me leaving him, not wanting this relationship. It releases that fear. And with the release of that fear, he goes back into a secure attachment state. So, what I want you to know is that fear is the main component about your partner not being in a secure attachment style, meaning they're either going to get anxious or they're going to get avoidant when they get into that fear. If they're avoidant, that means they're fearing that you're going to hurt them. So they're choosing to disassociate and just choose to do everything on their own. They don't want anything to do with you. If they fear that you're going to leave them, they're going to get really anxious and clingy. Then they go into the anxious attachment style and get really needy. But when you provide your PMDD partner with security, meaning I'm letting you know, I'm open to intimacy, I'm open to vulnerability, I'm open to affection, kissing, hugging, touching, all of those things. One interaction with my PMDD partner of just being loving, and he goes back into a secure attachment style because all his fears goes away. And when the fears goes away, all of those negative emotions go away. So what I want you to understand is when your partner is in an avoidant or anxious attachment state, then there's so many negative emotions that are attached to them and they're reacting to those emotions. When you become secure, you're getting those emotions out of the way and you're getting to the core of how they truly are, how they truly feel about you. They can let their guard down. They don't feel the need to be defensive, right? They can get defensive when they're anxious and feel like, I need to keep my partner. I need to keep my partner. I need to keep my partner. Or they can get defensive and get avoidant. Like, I need my space. I need my space. I need my space. But when you get into that secure attachment style, you're just enjoying your PMDD partner for who you originally believed that they were. I know for me, when I'm in my secure attachment state, when I'm in my follicular phase, I see the best in my PMDD partner. I see the best qualities in them. I'm not ignoring the fact that they have qualities. For example, oh my gosh, for example, the snoring. I don't ignore the fact that my partner snores when I go into my secure attachment state, but it doesn't bother me as much because I don't believe that he's doing it on purpose. And that's what makes me not make him the PMDD enemy. So many times when you're in that avoidant or that anxious style attachment, when your PMDD partner does something, you think that they're maliciously doing it towards you. And that means you're making them the PMDD enemy. You're like, you're the reason why I can't sleep because you're snoring. That happened for me so many years. And a big shout out to one of my private clients who sent me the link for some noise cancellation headphones to like allow me to sleep next to my partner. I appreciate that so much. That's why I love my private clients because they get it. But a lot of the things that my PMDD partner was doing that was part of his existence, meaning snoring, when I got into that avoidance state, I took it as he was doing something malicious towards me. He doesn't care if I sleep. He doesn't care about me. He's sleeping peacefully and I'm over here suffering. All of these stories that I would make up in my mind, and it would cause so much distance with me and my PMDD partner, because when you're thinking that your PMDD partner is maliciously doing things towards you, it's hard for you to securely attach to them, because in essence, you would be securely attaching to your own suffering. So it's not realistic to think that you're doing that. But what I want to let you know is having a secure attachment state with your PMDD partner means you're letting your walls down. You're believing that even if your partner does something to annoy you, to even hurt you, you're believing that they're not doing it on purpose. And the belief that you have behind your PMDD partner's actions is so important. I am now at the part of my journey where I believe that my PMDD partner could hurt me. He could annoy me, get on my nerves, all these things. But do I genuinely, I ask myself this question, and this is what gets me back or keeps me in the secure attachment style. And that is, does my partner genuinely believe that he's trying to hurt me? Is he trying to hurt me? Is he doing this on purpose? Because if the answer is no, and he's not doing it on purpose, then why am I mad at him? Why am I faulting him for something that he's not doing on purpose? I can bring it to his attention, which I always do. I'm very open and honest about things that trigger me about my PMDD partner, but I always ask myself that question. Is he doing it on purpose? Is he doing it maliciously? Does he know that I'm even suffering? So many times your partner is doing things to you to trigger you, and you're not even letting them know because you don't want to cause an argument. You don't want to go into that conversation. Meanwhile, they're continuously doing it, and they're not even knowing that they're hurting you, because I guarantee if they knew that they were hurting you, they probably wouldn't do it. So I've gotten to the point where I question things, actions that trigger me, that would normally cause me to go immediately in that avoidant attachment style. And they're little things. They're such little things. You can go downstairs to the kitchen and see that the kitchen is dirty. Perfect example. You can go downstairs, see the kitchen's dirty, see that your partner's sleeping, right? So think about this. Your partner's sleeping. You went downstairs and saw that the kitchen is dirty. There's two pathways that you can take: the avoidant or anxious pathway or the secure pathway. The avoidant or anxious pathway would be like, I can't believe they did this to me. They don't care about the fact that they just left the dishes. Look at that. I cook all day long. I do everything for them, and they're so ungrateful. They know that I'm going to have to stay up and clean these dishes because they know that I don't want to go to sleep with a dirty kitchen. But they don't care. They're sleeping peacefully in their bed, and they don't care about me. I can't be in this relationship with somebody that doesn't care about me. Again, that is catastrophizing. That is going down the rabbit hole, telling stories in your brain to convince you that you should not be with your PMDD partner. All the while, they are just sleeping. They don't even know that they've done anything wrong. Or you can take the secure attachment style and look at your PMDD partner who's sleeping. Think about that when you go downstairs and say, oh my goodness, they're really tired. I'm glad they enjoyed dinner. I'm just going to go ahead and clean this kitchen up. You're going to clean the kitchen up, not feeling like they're doing something to you, like they're making you do it. You're going to think the best of your PMDD partner. You're going to know that they're not intentionally causing you suffering, because at the end of the day, they're not. But we can tell ourselves stories in our minds that can convince us otherwise. And then our partner can literally wake up in the morning. And I've done this so many times where my partner has either woken up or talked to me in a conversation, thought it was going to go really good, and I bum rushed them with all of these accusations. And where did that cause us? It caused us in a place of either going through a borderline PMDD monthly breakup, or we went days and days and days of not talking, or there was just damage, things said harshly that we didn't really mean, but because we were trying to defend ourselves. And I felt justified in the moment because of the story that I told myself. So what I want to let you know is when you're in that secure attachment state, the best way to stay in that state with your PMDD partner is believe the best about them. That is literally all you have to do, because that means no matter what happens, no matter what is said, good or bad, you're believing the best about them. There's been times when my PMDD partner has been really frustrated, venting, complaining, where earlier in my journey, I would have gone off on them. I would have done all these things, but I believe the best about them. And I just say, you know what? They're really stressed out. I know they didn't mean that. I know, blah, blah. And then you know what happened? They in turn went off, did whatever they did, said whatever they said. I stayed calm because I was believing the best about them. And I was in my good days, by the way. And they came back to me and apologized. And then he said, you know what, babe, I was really stressed out. I didn't know about this since they explained it. And then he's like, I'm really sorry that I got upset. I'm really sorry I was venting like that. I was just really upset about this, and this. Like, you didn't deserve that. Here's what I got. I got the apology without having to nag them, accuse them, blame them, say mean things to them, feel guilty about the things that I said to them. All of those things were eliminated by me just genuinely being in that secure attachment style where I believe the best about my PMDD partner. And that is a reframing of your mind that you really have to do, because circumstances, little things on a daily basis, can cause you to go down the rabbit hole of thinking negatively about your PMDD partner. You will begin to think that little actions that they're doing it on purpose, when they're really not. They're really not doing it on purpose. But you can start to believe that in your mind if you don't catch yourself. So what I want you to get into the habit of doing is just believing the best about your PMDD partner and using my JBL method, just be loving. If you use that method, JBL, just be loving, and you're believing the best about them, then you're going to stay in that secure attachment style. So secure attachment styles in your relationship doesn't mean that there's no problems in your relationship, but it just means that the way that you deal with the issues in your relationship doesn't cause you to have the PMDD monthly breakups. It doesn't cause you to think less of your PMDD partner. It doesn't cause you to lose respect for your PMDD partner. That is really, really a big one, because if you lose respect for your PMDD partner, meaning you don't respect them anymore, the way you treat them is going to be in that anxious or avoidant attachment style. You're not going to be able to have a secure attachment style unless you respect your PMDD partner. And what does respect look like? Respect looks like I'm listening to the things that you're saying. I'm not just rolling my eyes. I'm not believing that you're lying to me. I'm not sitting here shrugging it off. I'm respecting what it is that you have to say because I'm believing the best about you. So a securely attached PMDD partner is better able to regulate their emotions. The reason why is they're moving slowly and intentionally in their reactions to their PMDD partner in the relationship, because they're trying to figure out what is the pathway I should take in this conversation. They're not just immediately reacting to every trigger that they have. When you're immediately reacting to every trigger that you have, it's going to be hard for you to stay in that secure attachment state, because you're constantly going to be going from this accusation to this accusation and this thing. You're going to be telling yourself stories. It's going to be chaotic. And not only is it going to hurt your PMDD partner, it's going to hurt you. So it's about having the difficult conversations, finding clarity, and approaching it and reacting to it with believing the best of your PMDD partner. Meaning if my PMDD partner offended me, right? They offended me with something. I'll take the snoring. That snoring is like a staple for me. So I'll keep using that. So if my PMDD partner, and this happened actually recently, where me and my PMDD partner had a really good weekend together. We had went to a couple of events and we had a really, really good weekend, and it was time to go to sleep. And my partner was snoring. I couldn't sleep. My immediate thought when I get into those moments of I'm really, really tired and my PMDD partner is snoring is they don't care about the fact that I need sleep. They don't care about me getting sleep. They're so selfish. They're laying here, they're getting their sleep, and I'm sitting here suffering and they don't even care. I get more and more bitter and upset as I try to like nudge my PMDD partner, like all of these things I try to do. And as my PMDD partner continues to sleep, I continue to tell stories in my mind. So when I wake up in the morning, one or two things could happen, and both have happened. One, I could have a complete attitude based off of the stories that I told myself in my mind about why my partner doesn't care that I was suffering from them snoring. Or I can have the difficult conversation, and which I did, and let my partner know that like the snoring bothered me. So like my partner was like, "Hey, good morning, babe," because of course he slept amazing. And he was like, "How did you sleep?" He always asked me this. And I was like, "I slept horrible." I could have lied. I could have lied and said, "Oh, I slept great, babe." And he would have said, "Oh, I did too. That's so amazing," and blah, blah, blah. And we would have ran off into the sunset in the lily flowers and all the things in a big lie. But I had the difficult conversation. I said, "Babe, I didn't sleep good because you were snoring." I needed to say that in order to let my PMDD partner know what I needed. Because if I lie, if I hold in the things that I genuinely need just to not have an argument, just to not go off on PMDD rage, I will never get my needs met. I will never get my needs met. So I had to have that conversation. And then he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And then he gave me some things that he was going to do so that I could get some sleep. We actually were going to another event later that day, but he was like, "You know what? You didn't get any sleep. Why don't I go get breakfast? Why don't I do this?" And he let me get back into bed, and I literally got like more hours of sleep because I had spoke my truth in a way that was honest yet loving, because I didn't believe that he did it on purpose. I just was stating the facts. So when you're telling your partner how you're feeling about something that they've done to you, just state the facts. Don't bring your assumptions into it. Don't say, "I feel like this because you did this." No, they're going to get defensive. You're going to start arguing. You just state the facts and say how it made you feel. I told my PMDD partner, "I didn't get any sleep because you were snoring. And so now I feel exhausted." I didn't tell him what to do with that. He came up with a solution on his own, which I'm pretty sure your PMDD partner will too. Tell them what the problem is. Don't blame them. Don't shame them. Don't accuse them. Because if you accuse them and you tell them what they did wrong, they're going to be like, "Well, good riddance to you." They're not going to care that you were suffering if you're blaming them. They're not going to care because you've already shamed them and blamed them and accused them. And now you're the enemy because now they're being defensive. So in order for you to have a secure attachment, the first PMDD trauma transformational tool is to have healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries, not rigid boundaries where you can't do this and you can't do that and you need to do this, and telling your partner, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, no, you're not their mother. You are not your PMDD partner's mother. Stop bossing them around and telling them what to do. A secure PMDD partner respects your boundaries and know when to say yes and is not afraid to say no. So if your partner says, you tell them, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this, and they say no, you need to be okay with that. You are not their parent. You do not have the right to get upset with them, to get angry with them, to withhold affection and attention and validation for them because they didn't do what you wanted. Because guess what? If they ask you to do something and blah blah blah, and it's outside the realms of your boundaries, you have the right to say no. Create an atmosphere where you're both able to be honest with your PMDD partner on the things that you want to do, things that you don't want to do, and you don't have to do. Say, no, that doesn't work for me. One time, my PMDD partner was like, I really had to work early. I had to go to work early and I was going to have a long day. And my PMDD partner wanted to like stay up and then he wanted to cuddle and all these things. I knew he was going to snore. I'll keep using that as an example. But I knew he was going to snore. And we have a guest bedroom in our house with a bed in it. And I did that for reasons because we have different sleeping schedules where I stay up late and sometimes I stay up late and work and then he goes to bed really, really early. So like I don't want to disturb him when he's trying to go to sleep. He doesn't want to like be snoring and stuff and I'm trying to like or I'm making noise. So we kind of like go to sleep at different times. And one time he was like, oh, let's go to bed, blah, blah. And sometimes I will sacrifice, especially when I'm in my secure attachment style, and I will sacrifice and go to sleep early where I normally wouldn't. But this particular night I had work to do, and I decided to stay up and get that done. And I told him no. And could I have told him yes? Oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I would have resented him because the things that I wanted to do, I wouldn't have done, and then I would have blamed him for not doing them. So if you know, this is a gauge. If you know that you're about to agree to something that you're eventually going to resent your PMDD partner for later on, don't agree to it because you're just going to be causing more problems later on. So when I was like, no, babe, I'm going to stay up, I saw the look of disappointment. He was like, oh, you sure? And I said, no, I have to do stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I gave him a kiss. I was very loving. I wasn't like, no, I'm not doing this in my avoidance stage. Like, no, I got to do this and blah, blah. Like, I wasn't mad because a secure PMDD partner is able to communicate in a loving manner. You communicate your boundaries in a loving way, and then your PMDD partner accepts them. Your PMDD partner will accept your boundaries if you're not demanding them and saying them in a way that's making them feel like they're the bad guy. And the next thing is a secure PMDD partner is not clinging. So when they're setting boundaries, they're encouraging you to have your free time, to pursue your interests, your activities, your friends. They're not trying to hold you back. They're not trying to say you got to stay with me all the time, only do things with me, only do activities with me. They want you to be happy. When I get into my secure state, I'm not asking my PMDD partner consistently what he's doing in his free time. I am allowing him the space to come to me and tell me what he's doing because I enjoy that more. I enjoy it more if I give my PMDD partner the freedom to do what it is that he wants to do. And then is really, really excited to say, hey, babe, this is what I did today. Not, oh, he's reporting into me because like, what did you do today? Just allowing him to be free. We're dating married to adults who want the freedom of being able to, do what it is that they want to do as long as it's respectful to the relationship. The next thing is giving your PMDD partner permission to have a solid social life and network. Do they want to have a girls' night out? Do they want to have a boys' night out? A secure PMDD partner encourages them to have those close friendships with others, develop connections outside of the intimate relationship, outside of the PMDD relationship. not accusing them, not, all of these things, not making them feel bad about it, not even making them feel bad like they have to choose. I remember when I first was dating my PMDD partner, and he is, I must say he was, he's very social. And I'm not. Ironically, I'm on social media a lot to serve PMDD partners, but I'm not like a social butterfly. Even though I travel a lot and I go out and do a lot of things, I don't hang around a lot of people. You will never find me in a big group of people. I'm very selective on who I hang out with. I normally have like a top two or three individuals at any given event or for things I'm going through, but I'm not like a big, sorority type group person. My PMDD partner is. But I love when I'm in my secure attachment style, I love that about him because of the fact that when I see him in that social atmosphere, I know that he's in his element and I know that he's happy. And that makes me happy. So I encourage those interactions. I don't try to make them look like what my social life is. I actually love my own company. I love going to the spa by myself. I will go to the movies by myself. I'll go to eat by myself. I go to the mall by myself. I do a lot. I go hiking. I do a lot of things. And I enjoy my own company, not because I'm being avoidant, even when I'm in my secure state. I don't know. I like spending time with myself. And I wouldn't consider myself an introvert. I'm more of an ambivert, which is I like to be out in social atmospheres, but I don't necessarily need to be in a group to do it. Like I just got back from a conference in Vegas and there was a lot of people around. I went to a lot of events. I went to a lot of things, but I wasn't attached to a specific group of individuals like a lot of them were. I was just kind of doing my own thing. And I had a good time with everybody. So I'm not antisocial either. So if you see me, if you see me, which has happened, ironically, I've been out and saw PMDD partners and they're like, hey, but like say hi. Like I don't not want to speak to you. I'm just saying that my comfort zone is not to feel like I have to have a lot of people around in order to do things. But my PMDD partner is that way. He feels more comfortable when he has a group of people. And I love that for him. So that goes into my next PMDD trauma transformational tool for seeing and being a secure PMDD partner, and that is unconditional trust. Don't worry, a securely attached PMDD partner typically isn't jealous because they trust you will keep the commitment that you've made to your relationship. You can trust them to be faithful to you and understand that they respect the importance of the relationship and they unconditionally love you. A secure PMDD partner will always have your back. So you can rest assured that anything that they're doing socially is not anything that's going to damage the relationship. And that's how I feel about my PMDD partner. That's why I trust him so much, is because I know that whatever it is that he's doing, he's not going to cross the boundaries of our relationship. It took him a while to believe that about me because he has past trauma with infidelity. But once he did, we've gotten to a point where he can ask me what I'm doing, blah, blah, and not ask about who was there for the sake of easing his fears, right? He would get really insecure and get into that anxious attachment style when I would be like, oh, I'm doing this social thing. And he'd be like, oh, who was there? And I would tell him who was there. He's like, oh, well, what did you guys do? And blah, blah. And that was a trigger for me, for him to question those details, because I know where he was going with that. And that questioned my character, my integrity. And that's what caused us to get into a lot of PMDD fights, because he would get into that insecure attachment style. So a secure PMDD partner would hear what you have going on And for me to say, oh, me and my coworkers, we went out here, here, here. And then they just be like, oh, great. I'm glad you have fun, babe. That's awesome. Not questioning the coworker's name to find out if they're male or female, not questioning the place that you went to see, like all of that, because it'll drive them crazy. But if you have a secure, attached PMDD partner, they're just genuinely going to be happy for you. So the next tool is open communication. So like I was telling you earlier, PMDD relationships often go south because we expect our PMDD partner to read our minds and anticipate and expect what we're going to need. A secure PMDD partner expresses what they need, what they desire. Anytime they need something, they genuinely just come out and say, I need this, this, and this. And I've done this plenty of times. I've done this and I've not done this. So when I needed space, if I felt like it was going to hurt my PMDD partner, I've held it in. And then in turn, I've suffered and got resentful. So now I'm at the point where when I'm with my PMDD partner and I know that I need space and I'm in that secure attachment, I'm just like, babe, I just need a little time to do this, this, and this, and then we'll come back and do this. I always leave a time for when I'm going to come back. I don't just go into the abyss and leave my PMDD partner to where they're like, I wonder where she went. I give them a time that I'm going to come back. But I'm genuinely honest about what it is that I need. And I'm not afraid to tell my PMDD partner that. And you really have to get to a point where you're doing that, because if you don't tell your PMDD partner what you need, you're never going to be in that secure attachment, because you're going to feel like, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings, and all of this other stuff is going to go on. So the next thing is having a genuine interest in what is going on with your PMDD partner. A genuine interest for the sake of creating intimacy. So I know when my PMDD partner feels like I'm listening to him, he feels seen, heard, and validated, our intimacy gets closer. And when our intimacy gets closer, that is what creates that secure attachment style. So I'm genuinely asking him how he's feeling, what he's thinking, and then he just pours it all out, and it feels good. It feels good when your PMDD partner is able to say what is on their mind without you judging them for it, without feeling like they're being criticized for it, without feeling like, oh, I can't really say what I'm really thinking because they're going to think this about me. If they know that you're in a state where you're willing to accept whatever it is that they tell you, then they're going to tell you more. But if you consistently criticize what it is that they're telling you, they're going to tell you less. So the next sign of a securely attached PMDD partner is consistent security. A secure PMDD partner is not going to leave you wondering where they are in the relationship, where they're standing, whether they're 1 foot out, 1 foot in. That is one thing I'm grateful about my PMDD partner is I've dated in the past where I've had periods of time in my relationship where I really didn't know where we are. Like we got in an argument and I'm like, man, I don't even know if they want to be with me and blah, blah. Whenever I am in my secure state and my partner's in a secure state in our relationship, I never wonder about where he stands in the relationship, how committed he is. Yes, he'll say, you upset me, whatever, but I'm still in it. Like he'll give me that security. He will give me that security so I know that we're still in it. And I think in order to have a securely attached PMDD partner, you have to provide your partner with that security, meaning we're going to have good times, we're going to have bad times, but I'm still going to be here. And I believe that when you get to that sweet spot where you've had conflicts and conflicts and conflicts, but your PMDD partner has reassured you that they're going to be there and they actually are, that's when you begin to believe them. So these are the signs of a securely attached PMDD partner. If you're finding that you're not seeing this in you or you're not seeing this in your PMDD partner, you need to contact me book a session and we can work out what is the root of that? Where is that coming from? Because if you're in your follicular days and you're not immediately going to that secure attachment style, that means that some of the things that have gone on in PMDD, that trauma from your past PMDD fights, are trickling over into your good days. And I will tell you from experience, until you deal with everything that you've gone through in PMDD, it is going to continuously taint your good days when you're in your good days. So if that's something that you know that you need to deal with, go to my website, www.inlovewithpmdd.com, and I need you to book a session to really deal with the things that are going on in PMDD so that they don't mess up what you have going on when you're in your good days. Because if not, you're never going to enjoy your good days if you're consistently repairing the damage on your own when you're in PMDD and when you're out of PMDD. It's time to get to the bottom of it and really deal with those issues so that when you're in your good days, you're genuinely in your good days and you can go back into that securely attached PMDD style so that you can really enjoy what it is that you have in your good days and not be still fighting PMDD even though you're not in PMDD. But the traumatic events that have happened in the past when you were in PMDD, they're going to consistently stay there until you deal with them. I know that from experience. I know it's not what you always want to hear, but I also know that month after month after month, they're going to pile up on top of each other. And at some point, your partner's going to be like, I had enough. And then you're going to be at a point where you're forcing yourself into it. And it's way harder to force yourself into getting help versus just recognizing like, yeah, I know these are things we need to work on. Let's just go ahead and work on them. Work on them early on versus being forced to work on them because one or the both of you has said you're going to break up and this is the last resort. And even if that is where you are, because I know that's when a lot of clients come to me, it's when they're on the verge of a PMDD partner breakup. I get it. But what I want to say for all of you that are not at that place yet, come get the help beforehand because it's way easier to dig yourself out of that hole than to dig yourself out of the hole of trying to convince your partner to still be with you because there's so much damage that has gone on. So if you know that being in a securely attached PMDD relationship is something that you want for your partner, something that's going to ease their mind and allow the relationships to be more enjoyable, contact me, book a session, and we can start the work on that. We got this. I hope this PMDD episode helped you and your partner in your struggles within your relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with and you need further support, individualized support, make sure you're going to inlovewithpmdd.com and you're getting those private sessions to really work through what you're going through in your relationship, specifically in regards to PMDD. And also, I want you to leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. What this does is it helps other PMDD sufferers and partners find this show that can help them get these free PMDD relationship tools. I remember what it felt like to not know that there were tools out there specifically for PMDD relationships. So I want to make sure that you are sharing these tools with others, share them on your social media, share them with people that you know that are also struggling in their PMDD relationships. Until next episode, this is Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. One more thing, I almost forgot. I now have the Fresh Start PMDD Partners workbook. What this workbook can do is if you've had past traumatic experiences with your partner, past fights, past arguments, and they keep coming up every single month in PMDD, I created a Fresh Start workbook so that you can deal with all of the traumatic experiences that have happened in the past in PMDD rage and all of these things so you can stop going through the same cycle again and again and again. So get that workbook. It comes with a video episode of the actual podcast that I recorded on getting a fresh start in your PMDD relationship. So you're not continuing the same cycle again and again and again. So make sure that you get that workbook. And if you need those individualized counseling sessions, you know where to go, inlovewithpmdd.com. Until next time, we got this. Love you.